Hey everyone, this is Marquise with Smart Money Moose back with another video. I hope you're all doing well. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe for more content. It's been a while since I last made a video, and so much has happened in my life. So much has happened in the real world. So much has happened in the cryptocurrency space. I think the biggest thing in the world is that Russia has invaded Ukraine. And I just want to say that I hope that everyone in Ukraine has made it out safely, everyone that's trying to get out. I hope that this war ends as quickly as possible. And one of the beautiful things about cryptocurrencies is that people were able to donate Bitcoin and Ethereum to the Ukraine government to help them out with the war and to help fund it. So, never in the history of the world have we been able to affect a nation so much and actually help them out. So, shout out to the people that were able to donate funds to Ukraine's government to help them out with the war. And just my prayers up to Ukraine, and hopefully this war will end as soon as possible. So, jumping into this video, I'll be talking about what Bitcoin has done since the start of this pandemic, Bitcoin becoming more political and what that means, and what places are now starting to accept cryptocurrencies for tax payments. So, let's have a look at these prices. Currently, Bitcoin is sitting at $44,504, up 0.3%. Ethereum is at $3,145, up 1.2%. Binance Coin is at $415, up 1.2%. XRP is at 83 cents, up 0.9%. Cardano is at $1.15, up 4.8%. Solana is at $102, up 3.7%. Terra is at $91, up 1.4%. And rounding out the top 10, Avalanche is at $86, up 2.8%. So as we can see here, Bitcoin is definitely doing better than it has been doing the last few days, the last couple of weeks. It's now sitting comfortably above $40,000. I believe in my last video that I made, which was a little while ago, Bitcoin wasn't even over $40,000. I think it was hovering or fighting around the 37,500 price range. But it's good to see that it's now above 40,000. It's even pushing towards 45,000, and hopefully it stays there. So let's jump into our first news story. This article says, after years of doubts and concerns, it is finally Bitcoin's time to shine. Bitcoin leads the way as investors seek adaptable hedging alternatives in the search for the new digital gold. Gold has served as a store of value for thousands of years. Due to this, investors have widely used it as a hedging tool against the effects of recessions and inflation, often caused by geopolitical tensions. In light of recent events such as the COVID-19 pandemic, and more recently, the military crisis between Russia and Ukraine, many investors have sought alternatives to gold and other precious metals as hedging options. As we approach a digitized age, it is a prerequisite that alternatives to gold are equipped to deal with the future. In the search for a contender to challenge gold's dominance, Bitcoin has shown the brightest. So, like I said before in the intro of this video, I want to talk about what Bitcoin has done since the start of this pandemic. And if we just jump back to CoinGecko just to look at Bitcoin's price. So, the pandemic basically started in, I would say, January of 2020. So, definitely at the start of 2020 was when the pandemic started. And I just want to have a look at Bitcoin's price since then. So for those not looking at the screen, Bitcoin's price in January of 2020 was about $7,349. I'll even round it up to $8,000 because I'm pretty sure later on in that month, yeah, I see it here at 7,832. So yeah, we'll round it up to $8,000. So at the beginning of this pandemic, Bitcoin was around $8,000. Its price right now is sitting at $44,610. So for those that were invested in Bitcoin at the start of this pandemic, you're pretty happy with where the price is right now and the gains that you've made thus far. And you'd be up hundreds of percentages on your holdings or your Bitcoin. And 44,600 isn't even the all-time high for Bitcoin. I think I believe earlier last year it touched 65K. That's the all-time high for Bitcoin. So, but we retraced a bit, but I know we'll get back to it. Absolutely, definitely within like the next couple months or the next like year or two or something. Bitcoin always reaches its all-time high again. But anyways, if you had Bitcoin at the start of this pandemic, then you'd definitely be up hundreds of percents. And that just goes to prove that Bitcoin is definitely a hedge against inflation. It's definitely a hedge against recessions and different things like that. It's definitely one of the best assets to park your money in, especially when you're comparing it to other traditional assets such as gold or even different stocks and stuff like that. I doubt, or there's not any stocks that has outperformed Bitcoin since the this pandemic to now. Like you're up hundreds and hundreds of percents on your Bitcoin if you held it. So I wanted to put this in here just to discuss what Bitcoin has done since the start of this pandemic. I know that I've been reading different things of people saying like, how is Bitcoin a hedge against inflation when last year it reached 65K and this year it's now sitting around 44K. And it's like if you look at it over time, you always have to zoom out when you're talking about investments. And I think that people want to invest money and just, get be up right away. And it takes time. Like people always say you have to, instead of trying to time the market, it's time in the market, meaning the length of time that you put your assets or your money into an investment. And with Bitcoin, if you continue to hold over the long term, you definitely see those benefits. So the the proof is in the charts, or it's in the numbers. The numbers don't lie. So Bitcoin at the start of this pandemic was around $8,000. Now it's sitting at $44,000, and I know that it'll be a lot more in the future, which is something I'm looking forward to as well. So that's just what Bitcoin has done since the start of this pandemic. Jumping to the next news article here, it says, "Love it or hate it, crypto's vibe shift is now imminent. Recent geopolitical developments have upended the ethics and self image of crypto. What does that mean for its future?" So, in this article, I wanted to discuss this chart further down below. It says Bitcoin community engagement by age 18 plus only, so 18 plus and up. And this graph basically shows the age of people that are invested in Bitcoin and what ages are the most. So if we look here at the biggest percentage is 41.35%, and that age range is 25 to 34-year olds. The second largest age group at 20.16% is 35 to 44. And then the next age group after that at 16.65% is 18 to 24. Next, we have 10.8%, and that is 45-year-olds to 54. Then we have 6.59%, and that is 55 to 64-year-olds. And then the smallest group at 4.45% is 65-year-olds and up. So as we see here, the largest group is between 25 to 34, and then right after that is 35 to 44, then 18 to 24. So we see here that it's mostly young people that are invested in crypto, and I don't think that's going to change. I do think that as people continue to get older, and I mean like teenagers and stuff like that, as they become young adults, they're looking at different ways to invest their money and securely hold it there, like a hedge to, like if you put $100 in a certain time, like over the course of a few years or a few months, you want that $100 to not wilt away, or at least be able to buy you the same equivalent or more in the future. So young people are going to look for what's the best investment vehicle to park my money so I could have my purchasing power in the future. And that best investment vehicle has continued to be crypto. So I do think that we will continue to see not even just Bitcoin, like Ethereum and other different cryptocurrency assets continue to be the place that young people put their money into, because we are shifting more into a digital space. So I just wanted to discuss this graph just to show the engagement of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as a whole. It's mostly young people that are in it. We do have some people between the age of 35 to 44 in it as well. But as you continue to go past 44-year-olds, we see that the number of people that are invested in digital assets and cryptocurrencies does decrease. But like I said, we have a wide range of, there's a lot of people, a lot of young people that are in the space. Now, jumping to our next news story here, it says Secretary Yellen recognizes the benefits of crypto despite lingering skepticism. For those that don't know who Yellen is, she is the U.S. Secretary of the Treasury, Janet Yellen, and she spoke to CNBC's Squawk Box shares on her views of the state of digital assets amid calls for imposed regulations. So, scrolling down here, it says, recognizing the multitude of technological and societal advancements within the cryptocurrency space over the past few years, Yellen offered a friendlier, more receptive tone than on previous occasions, stating that crypto is now playing a significant role, not really so much in transactions, but in investment decisions of lots of Americans. So, for those that don't know, Janet Yellen, she hasn't always been friendly to crypto. In 2018, she said that she was not a fan of Bitcoin, and she felt that the people that were using Bitcoin were people that basically Bitcoin was being used for illicit activities, things that were illegal. But I do think that if she had done more research, or if she really understood what Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies were, she would have known that Bitcoin is probably the worst thing to use for illicit or illegal activities, because because it leaves a trace. Your transactions are all public. It's on the blockchain and it's visible by anybody. So if you're going to do illegal activities, you don't want your transactions to be visible to people or to leave a trace. And that's exactly what Bitcoin does. So, but anyways, it appears she has done more research, or she's been educated more, she's received more information, and now her stance on cryptocurrencies has changed. And she said here, there are benefits from crypto, and we recognize that innovations in the payment system can be a healthy thing. And so that's so true. We're starting to see that more politicians are starting to open up to Bitcoin. And so Bitcoin is becoming more political. I do think that in the future, we will see more politicians that are running for office. They will have more of a friendly stance towards Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, because they want young people to vote for them. As we saw from the last news article here, it's mostly young people that are invested in Bitcoin and digital assets. So if politicians in the future want to get the vote of young Americans, they have to be crypto friendly. So I think we will start to see more of that. And Janet Yellen, she's not wrong with what she's saying. There are benefits to crypto, and that it can be used as like it is very innovative for payments and things of that nature. Like you can make payments in a matter of minutes or seconds and pay close to no dollar to nothing in fees, rather than waiting for the financial institutions we have now using banks, and sometimes it takes days and you can't do things on the weekends, and it can be expensive. So there really are benefits, huge benefits to payments in crypto, and I think that will only continue to grow in the future, and we'll see more people, governments, businesses using it. Just checking to see if there's anything else to bring out in here. She did say here that she states that crypto is now playing a significant role, not really so much in transactions, but in investment decisions of lots of Americans. I do think that in the future as well, we'll also see the reverse of that, where we see more crypto being used more for transactions. I definitely still think that it'll still be used as investments for Americans, but she said here that's not really so much for transactions. But I think as we continue to have advancements in the technology, and businesses become more they see the benefits to using digital assets for payments and stuff like that, we will see people purchasing more things in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. And it's already started in other countries of the world. I think that unfortunately in this area, the US is a bit slow with catching up, but I know that we'll definitely get there. Jumping to our last topic here, which is basically places that are now accepting cryptocurrency for tax payments. It says Rio de Janeiro to accept cryptocurrency payments for taxes. Cryptocurrency adoption comes in different forms these days, but it seems that countries and cities are becoming more open to the idea of allowing certain payments to be made using such assets. Brazil's second largest city said it wants to become the first within the nation's border to accept Bitcoin payments for taxes. So we see here that Rio de Janeiro is starting to allow people to pay for their taxes and in Bitcoin. And I don't know if it's other cryptocurrencies as well, but with Bitcoin, they're now accepting that. And I think that this will just catch on in other places and areas and cities and states and countries as well. I think that these places will start to allow people to pay for for different things, especially their taxes in Bitcoin. And I think that these governments will hold these cryptocurrencies on their balance sheets. And as these assets appreciate in value, these governments are seeing the benefits of that. Not just de Janeiro, but also here it says Florida tax collector to accept Bitcoin Cash payments. BitPay has partnered with a Florida county tax collector to facilitate tax payments in Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. Now, I will say that I don't think that there will be a ton of people that will just rush to start paying for their taxes in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, but it's a start. And I do think that once these governments like really learn more about the technology, they won't only allow like Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, but I think they'll allow stable coins as well. And I think that people would be more receptive to paying for their taxes in stable coins rather than Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash or any other type of uh, cryptocurrency, because like it could go up in value and like you don't want to like have to pay, you don't want to pay like $200 worth of taxes and then whatever cryptocurrency you pay and it explodes and then that 200 is now worth like 500 or 600 and it's like crap, I should have just paid in something else. So I do think that people will probably start to pay in stable coins rather than crypto, but it's still nice to have that option. And it does show that these governments are starting to take cryptocurrencies seriously, so serious that they're allowing people to pay in it. And then they'll probably either hold it or convert it, whatever they plan to do with it. But the fact that it's now being deemed as a payment option, I think it's a huge step and a huge win for cryptocurrencies overall, because years ago, this wasn't even it wasn't even an option, or it was like in our wildest dreams, but here it is today. We're seeing that people can pay in it. So that wraps it up for this video. I do hope that I said something that educated you or entertained you or enlightened you in some way, form, or fashion. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.